Hello and good evening. It's Thursday evening and it's time for block of the month for December. So it is the absolute last one of 2023. So let me have a look. I have brought my phone with me tonight because usually in the group I don't actually see any comments coming up, but I can see Lindsay is watching. Let's just have a look just to see if it's going to tell me that I'm sure. Oh, here we are. I can see me now. So yes, there's Lindsay, and let's see who else there is. Oh, there's Jill and John. Hi there. And Maureen and Shirley. And right, yes, and others are watching too. Good evening, Elaine. Now, I know some of you will have seen me earlier today when I decided. Hello, Alison, and hello, Amanda. Hopes we all had a good Christmas. I decided I needed to have a quick chat with you because I hadn't seen you since well before Christmas. One thing, I haven't been 100% all this time either. One day I'll have a good day, and then the next day it's like back to square one. But hopefully I haven't been too bad today. Still not 100%, but I'm getting there. I'm just fed up with taking the Lemsip, the paracetamol separately, of course. The Sudafed, the Suda-Ease also separately. Also the Voltarol when my back is twingy. And what else I do? Vic Vapor Rub. That is my new perfume at the minute. Vic's Vapor Rub. Just to keep the airways active. And yes, it's just not good. And my head cold. But fingers crossed, you know, it's been going on for a good 6 weeks, on and off. And hopefully I am really on the mend. So let's have a look here. There's Jane, there's Beverly. Oh, missed some of these. Let's have a look. Amanda was the last one. Hello, Carol. Hello, Julie. Sandra, Janet, Beverly, Jane, Anne, Jill, Rena. Fiona's watching. Vanessa, Christine, Tony, Joanna, Caroline. Oh, you've got a head cold, Caroline. Oh, I hope my voice gives you a boost. I really do. I lost mine, if you remember, early November, and my voice completely went. And that was the beginning of it all, because up until then I was okay, you know, on and off with little things. But there we go. Hello, Pat. I hope you get better soon. Anyway, Caroline. Hello, Shirley. Hello, Karen. Hope you'll be feeling. I know. I hope so too, Karen. Thank you. Hello, Sharon. Sharon in Northern Ireland. Oh, I will have to take care. Thank you. Hello, Glynis. Hello, Alison. And there's Fiona. Happy New Year to you all. Oh, there's a bit more. You're a bit more in advance than me. That will come another day. 2 or 3 days yet. But Happy New Year to you, Fiona. Hello, Pat. Oh, so perhaps it's not just me. I do keep hearing so many people have gone down with a fluey bug. And it just makes me wonder all the time, what have I actually got? I just don't know. They say, but they do, Amanda, don't they? And I've never done that. I've done it to my children when they were younger. Yeah, perhaps I'll try that. Hello, Pamela. Yes, hopefully I am. Hello, Jean-Anne. Hello, Lorraine. Oh, Maureen's the same. You've been ill since Christmas. It's so draining. I know. I've had a lot going on, haven't I, throughout this year. And my mum was even saying, you know, perhaps it's partly to do with that. But I just want to be normal. I just want to feel healthy. I don't know. Hello, Elaine. I know, Beverly. I know. I mean, I have been taking time. It's been lovely. I haven't got the grandchildren, but I do miss them. You know, it's strange, isn't it? I did say I won't see them until next Monday. But I said, do pop in and, you know, I'll have them for half a day, morning or afternoon, because I can't go for days and days without seeing them. Anyhow, yes. And I was going to say something there. What was I going to say? Can't remember now. Thank you, Jane. Hello, Gita. Hello, Gidget Marie. Oh, thank you. I'll take all those healing hugs in now. Evening, Aurora. Hot ginger and lemon. Oh, Fiona, you make me laugh. Hello, Brenda. Yes, Brenda, and I tell you, I have done that for you. It's just I haven't responded to your email, have I? I was sitting there and I thought I've done it, so you're all part of the group. The instructions are in the post as well, and I just haven't replied, but I hope you're well. I have been thinking of you, as I know you do. We think about each other, don't we? Jane's had sciatica for 10 days and counting. It's so painful. Oh, my goodness. I haven't got sciatica. I've got just a twingy back on one side. And so I've rubbed some on now, and it doesn't make me feel better, I must admit. It will be because of me, yes. Hello, Patricia. Happy New Year. Okay, you can always watch it back later because I shall make sure it's in the group for you. Hello, Jane. Nice to be able to watch live. I will. Hello, Jack. Oh, I know, but I feel bad. My mum told me off. She said, you were going to have this week off. I said, Mum, I need to see my ladies one day this week, one evening. And so she said, she allowed me just this once, she said. Evening, Dorothy. Hot lemon, ginger and a few cloves. Yes. Oh, Jill's got a twingy back as well. Tiger Balm. Tiger Balm, I did have some, which I bought in Sri Lanka 23 years ago. I don't think it'll be any good now, but I did. No, it'll probably be hard, won't it, and solid. Yes, that's what I was going to say. So, getting on, it's lovely to see you all here today. Did I say hello, Bev? Oh, good evening, Bev. I probably missed you. How could I miss the lovely Bev? Hello. And Carrie. I don't think I said that. Oh, there's Susan. Hello, Susan. I do need to look after myself, don't I, Gita? And I will. Oh, Pauline's here. Jolly good, Pauline. Used to swear, yes. And echinacea, as Sheena's told me today. And I know lots of you have said about echinacea. But I was looking at the ins and outs, and or the do's and don'ts. And it did say there could be interaction with certain medication. Torvastatin, which I have one of those, and apilomidine or something like that, apilomidine. So I thought, oh, no, and it said speak to your doctor, and I thought, speak to my doctor? I don't even go to see him because I know they'll say it's a virus. Go home and take paracetamol. But one day I might have to. I don't know. Hello, Joanne. Lovely to see you. So, Jill, it's echinacea interacts. That's what it said. And I thought, well, it can interact in a good way or a bad way. But I read it as a bad way. It could affect the liver. So, who knows? Hello, Marilyn. New Year coming. I know. Please let me be better soon. I'm glad I brought my phone tonight, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to see all these comments at all, would I? Anyhow, ladies, there's lots of you watching tonight, which is lovely. Hello, Lynn. Oh, you bought it and then couldn't take it. Yeah, I was about to rush out, and then I thought, I don't really feel like rushing out. There's that good old long river. But then before I did that, cinnamon. I've got cinnamon. Speak to I know, exactly that, Fiona. Wouldn't even think of calling him, no. Cinnamon. Yes, I have got cinnamon. I have cinnamon on my porridge in the morning, actually. Oh, so perhaps I need to put a bit more on. Shirley's husband had the tablets, had a bad reaction to one. Oh, goodness. Doctor said he would see him on the 12th. Oh, my goodness. Turmeric. I haven't got turmeric. I should have turmeric. It interacts with that. Oh, right. Yeah. So it could mean, what did it say? Could mean palpitations, I think, and something else. And caffeine as well. So no drinking coffee, which I do have coffee. Not strong coffee, but, So I might not until I've seen. If I have to go to the doctors, I'll ask them the question then as well. Hello, Marion. Hello, Patricia. Hopes everyone had a good Christmas. Yep, I hope you all did. Good evening, Janet. Talk to your farm. Oh, yes, that's a good idea. I'll do that, Glynis, thank you. Good evening, Suzanne. Happy New Year to everyone. Oh, another one. Suzanne's looking forward to 2924. So am I. But as I should be 966 by then, I might not see you all. So I know you mean 2024, but it looks good. Turmeric can have an interaction. Oh, goodness. Yes, I only have a small dose of blood pressure, but I love it when these funny little things come up, because we're all human, and obviously phones and iPads just put whatever they want to, don't they? Joanna can't use Tiger Balm, and the heat rubs as a smile affects my ass. Oh, yes. You have a roll-on freeze thing, which helps. Hello, Margaret. And hello, Leslie. Thank you. Jill, that's what I had 3 or 4 years ago. You're picking a heart monitor on the, yeah. And I've had heart monitors twice now, and they say it's absolutely fine. And my doctor actually said, oh, it's just one of those things you have to live with. I could not believe it, and I shall never forgive him for saying that, but there we go. Hello, Bridget. Whiskey and hot water, honey, lemon and cloves, a hot toddy. Yes, that's what I could do, Marilyn, couldn't I? Except I don't do alcohol. Hello, Gail. And because that's what I thought started the palpitations off all those years ago, and I haven't drunk any since, except Prosecco. Thank you, Fiona. Right, yes, what I was going to say before everybody keeps coming on and watching, which is fabulous, is hello, Sue, once we finish tonight, just make sure, if you haven't downloaded the PDFs, to go and do that, because we have only got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 more days, and then all of December's, specifically December's PDFs will go. And once they're gone, the only way you'll get them is to buy them on the website at £6 for the PDF. So I'm saying to you now, please, please, please download, save it, send it to yourself on an email so that you can save it on your computer, laptop, iPad, phone, wherever. Print it off, and just make sure you've got it for good. The other thing we will have on Sunday evening, being the 31st, I might do it slightly earlier, I haven't decided yet, but obviously we've got the fabric bundle, the giveaway, which I shall have all your names in that little tub I have to see who's going to win this month, the last one of 2023. What else was there as well? Right, just been doing that all done and dusted, thank you. Oh, that's what Leslie's been doing. Right, okay, so the PDF is in the group, it's in this group, in the files, for those that are probably new to the group. So have a look at the top of the page in files, you will click on that, and you will see December block of the month, curved log cabin, which is sitting behind me. It's behind you, and that's what I'll do, Fiona, definitely. Also, there's a kit on the website as well for this one behind me. I'm making a different colourway up this evening, but it will come out in the same design as in blocks. And there is a code, so it's a code that is for you and you alone, all of you members. So please don't share it with anybody else. There's free postage on the kit, should be $17.99, but there's a code which is LOG200 to give you a further £2 off. So a saving of £5.49 basically. So I know some of you have bought it already. Hello, Angela. And I should be getting those done, say the middle of next week. I shall be cutting all the kits up that have been ordered. So entirely up to you, but as I always say, you have got enough fabric in your stash. You don't need to buy a kit. But with these kits, I will be cutting all the pieces to size, so it will be just a case of making it up. Now, the PDF itself, Jean, I haven't tried to tidy up anywhere because, You found the bee panel. That was lovely, wasn't it? I wish they'd bring that range out again, actually. Be grateful. But it is, yes, it is really lovely. Shirley found the bee panel when she was tidying her sewing room. Now, I think we could write a book on what you all find when you're tidying up. And you can't remember when you bought it, what you bought it for, but there it is. And then there's things that you were looking for ages ago, and there it is when you're not even looking. You know that feeling? Okay, so the PDF is quite a few pages long, like here. And what you'll see, so at the top, you've got the centre now. I have used red as my centre square because it is traditional to use a red centre for the heart of the home, for the warmth of the home. So I've used red again. And then light, so in a light fabric, so that's my creamy background one. And then the colours, so whatever colours you like, you will need, and what I've done against the side of the measurements, I put what number it is, because on this picture here, which is on the instructions, there is a number to show you. I've laid it all out exactly how it will all go together. So you've got number 1, whoops, in the centre, and then, whoops, no, wrong way, down, number 2 below, 3 to the side, that way, 4 up, 5, I'm going opposite to what's here. So, there we are. So that is how your log cabin will join together. Now, all you need to remember, one thing is, we're making this, when we add a piece of fabric, we are working in an anti-clockwise direction. So we start here and we add, so this is number 1, we go to number 2 here, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7. So you can see we're working in an anti-clockwise direction. And also, so if you always remember that every time you add another strip, it's in an anti-clockwise direction. And the second thing that I would say is a little check. Every time you're adding a strip, make sure that the side, the edge that you're stitching it to, has got a seam in it. So if you're adding it to a side which is just one strip of fabric, it's the wrong side. And I'll give you some little tips as I go through making this block up, as to avoid the risk of putting your strip on the wrong side. Now you can do all 4 blocks at the same time. So like the first one will be to add the centre, or the piece 2 to the centre block, and you could actually do those chain piecing, and so one together and then another and another and another, so that you've got all 4 being done at the same time. But what I have made 3 up already, so I'm going to show you how to do 1. And then you could do them individually, then do another one. Once you've got 1 to look at, but what I would say, look at your picture here, and you'll know exactly where your pieces should go. Okay. Thirdly, so anti-clockwise, always make sure a strip is going onto a seamed edge, so where there's a seam coming across. And thirdly, to iron at every step of the way. So once you've stitched fabric to the main block, press it before you stitch the next strip on. So let's just have a look here. Let's see, so Joanna's still got her bee panel as well, and so has Jack. Lynn's having to watch on your phone as computer trying to change the window. Oh yes. Okay, Lindsay is very, very good for like that. Jack's printed hers off already. Okay. Lynn, you're never a pest. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're here to help. Okay, so let me just pop, if I pop that there. So this is what we're going to make. We are going to make 1 block. Now, curved log cabin, there is another variation. This is my variation of curved log cabin. And when I was thinking about it, the block under here is a log cabin block, a traditional log cabin. And what I actually thought about doing was actually cutting a curve off of here and then stitching a piece of plain fabric to fill it back into being a square. So it would need a curve. but I thought to myself, do you know what? We haven't done any curved piecing yet, which we will do in the future. But I thought, as usual, let's find an easier way to actually make this a curved log cabin. So it does give, it gives that look of curves, doesn't it? And how I've added to it as well, let's just go a little bit closer in. Can you see how I've actually quilted? I try and be a little bit more adventurous in my quilting. I've quilted curves. Now this is really quite easy, it's nothing special. I've used a walking foot and it does look quite even, but I've used the edge of my foot each time I'm stitching as my guide to get quite even shapes. And the very first round I did was using the edge of this piece that we've appliqued, or we will applique on, and I've used the edge of that to get my very first row. So I've gone all the way around and come to the point on this seam here, and as I've gone further out, obviously it goes past there, so then I've just filled in all these curves, just like well, concentric curves. But that is how it works, and actually it really isn't that difficult, and it doesn't take that long. So, oh, there's Jill now, so just in time, Jill. Let me see if I put that, oh no, I won't put that there because it's going to fall off. I might put that there, whoops, there we go, so I can see. So, I'm going to dip you down first of all. I will have my iron at the ready, and I'm going to show you the pieces and actually lay them out as to how they are going to be. Now, I'm probably going to, well, I am going to have a look. I'm going to have a look, because even now, I still want to look at my little diagram here. So I'm going to look at this diagram, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in order. So this is what a kit will come like with all the pieces cut. So there is my centre block. Number 2 is going to go there. Number 3 is going to go here. So with your log cabin, what happens is you have 2 adjacent sides. So this side and this side will be the colours, and the other 2 sides will be the neutral or the creamy ones. So that was 1, 2, 3. Number 4 is going there. Number 5, so again it's going to be a neutral. So having done two colour ones, you're going to do 2 neutral. We're going to do 2 colour and then 2 neutral. So the next one is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is 6, a colour. Here is 7, a colour. We want 8 along the top, which is a neutral. 9 down here. Then we go on to colours. 10 and 11. Okay, so you can see how they all work. Now, I shall have to move it as I start stitching. But that is how it's all going to go. So each time, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch this to this one. So this is number 1 to number 2. So always start in the centre. And if you've got a directional fabric, just make sure that it's the right edge that you're stitching to, because when we put them together, the 2 pieces are exactly the same size. As it happens, it won't matter which side I actually stitch, but if I make sure it is that side, and we're always looking at the red being the centre one being above the same size of the colour. So let's just pop that under the foot, and we're going to go, we are going to stitch with a 1/4 inch seam. I'm using my my standard foot, but I've moved my needle over to 5.5. Now, if you're 5.5, I've just started using a scant 1/4 inch, which a scant one means it's a smidgen smaller than a 1/4 inch. So I've actually moved my needle up to 6. So 5.5 or 6, and it will depend on machines, but 6 is what I'm going to use on this occasion. So I'm using Orifil thread as I usually do because I absolutely love it. There we are. So I've stitched down there. Now actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to move my pieces over here because they are going to get in the way of what I'm doing. So let's put those over there and those two at the top there. Okay. And what you'll find is they are not going to fit if they're the wrong size. So let me just pop that just there so that I can see where I'm going. But what we'll need now is our pressing mat. So you can either have an ironing board set up next to you, or if you've got a pressing mat and a mini iron, absolutely fantastic. So there is my seam. I've stitched across there, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the seam by just ironing across, and then I'm going to open it out and press that back. So there is my first stitching done, and as we can see with our piece here, I've got the red one, the centre at the top, and my colour below. I'm now going to go to number 3, which is the one anti-clockwise going around here. So I'm going to take my number 3, which is this one here. So I'm going to pop that one there. I'm going to do right sides together and line that up and move that out of the way. And I'm going to line that up with that top edge. I'm going to make sure that is perfectly aligned. And what I like to do, I like to start stitching into there, and then I'm going to make sure that at this end here, I'm just going to pull it just a little bit on this one. Usually it fits just perfectly, but if it doesn't, just pull it to make that fit, because that just needs to fit perfectly. So having stitched that seam, I'm just going to take that across there, and again we'll set the seam. We're going to flip that. I'll move it again, but I'm going to use the side. I'll start off with the side of the iron or the tip, and then just smooth that across. So I always bring it back round to the direction that it is on my sheet, as the red's in the centre with the small one below it. So now I'm going to go to number 4. Number 4, we've done our 2 colours, so now we're going to do a background one or a creamy one twice, one here and one there. So I'm going to take this one here, which is that one there, and I'm going to put that right sides together, and we're going to stitch across there. So let's just move that out of the way for a moment, line that up at the top, and stitch down here. Now don't go as fast as I do, just go to your own speed, but just make sure you get that beautiful 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So again, we'll take that off and we will iron that. I like to press that top one that we just stitched away from me, but then once I've done that, I like to flip that round, whoops, there we go, so that that red is still in the centre with the same size block below it. And I now want to do this one here. Where are we? That's this one. So there is my next one. You will see that it fits. It goes along there, and we're going to put that right sides together as well. So let's take that away, and it doesn't matter which way around you move it to stitch, but just make sure once we've stitched it. And also I'm looking, I've got seams on this side, so that is fine. I've got 2 seams, so I'm just going to line that up. That fits perfectly. Make sure it's all the edges are aligned here, and make sure the side of your foot is going straight down there and being lined up with the side of your foot. So I can move that around again, set the seam, push it back, and use the side of the iron so that that seam is fully opened. So again, let's just turn that around. So I've still got the red in the centre, and this one, that was the last block that the last strip that I've attached. So the next one going in an anti-clockwise direction is this one down here. And you can see there's colours here. So we want a colour here for the next two, in fact. So the next colour is that one, and that one is going to fit on there. So that one is going to be right sides together. And you see how beautifully that fits, which I'm very pleased about. If that just stays together. So just make sure the corner that you start stitching at, just make sure that fits perfectly, and then stitch a few stitches, just make that line up at the bottom there, and the raw edges at the side, I can see they're all lining up beautifully, which is how we want it to be. So cut that thread. So there's my next one, and again, let's just set the seam, flip it open, and press, and again turn that around so that that red is in the center. Here's our first one. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want number 7, which is going to be the color, because we're on the colored side. So number 7 is there, and number 7 is going to go right sides together. So let's just pop that up there, push that across out of the way, line that up at that top corner and start stitching, and then line it up down here as well. And I can see that all lines up beautifully down here, and I'm making sure the side of my foot is lined up with that raw edge as well. So it's really not taking that long to do. So press or set the seam, flip it back, open that seam out, and again flip that back round to how it was. So there's my centre. Looks a bit offset because it is at the minute. We've got 2 rows of colours. We've only got one of the creamy one. So having this is out, we're going anti-clockwise, remember. So we now want a cream one to go across here, which is it that one? It is that one indeed. So right sides together along that edge, move that out of the way, align that top as well. So let's just line that up and start stitching and pull that down, and that fits beautifully. And this is how it should be. This is the fact that these strips, the strips we add, will fit the piece, the block that we've already stitched perfectly. So we will set that seam, and again flip it open and just iron along that seam, and then let's move it. Oh, that's in the right position now actually. My red is there, my centre, and my same size one. So we now need, having done that one, to put the other cream down here. So that one is going to fit on there. So we're going to pop that one right sides together and move that out of the way, and just align that top corner and pop that down. And then once we've started stitching, just bring that down to this corner so that fits, as well as all these raw edges aligning beautifully. Now if you need to, if you want to pop some pins down here, by all means do, or your binding clips. But cotton is very, very forgiving, and it's not slippy, and it will cling to the fabric underneath. So there we have our strip number 9, I think that might be. So let's set that seam and open that one out. So again, that should be there. So we've now got two blues and 2 creams. So we've done this one, we now want to do this one along here. So that will be this one here, and we will put that one right sides together also, and we'll stitch down this edge. And again, you can see that we've got seams there. If I'd popped it on this edge, it would be the wrong edge to pop it on, but it needs to go along here, and that's the correct edge because we are still working in an anti-clockwise direction. So right sides together, and then down here, just align that, and I can see I've just popped my finger onto the strip, and it just holds the two fabrics together. There we go. So that is my penultimate strip onto the block. So again, here it is. Let's just set that seam there and then push it back and open it out. And we can see we've got that in the right position purely because we've got all of our bluey ones over here. I just need one to come down here now, my very last one, because we are still working in that anti-clockwise direction. And there is the very last one there. So that is going to go onto there. So I'm going to bring that, just line that into that top corner so that matches perfectly. Let's see, oh, no comments yet, but I should be able to see them on my phone when I get to have a look at it. So we will just stitch all the way down here. There we go. So that one is all the way down. And we've got our last strip on there. So again, we just need to set this seam. Setting the seam means that when you flip it back, you get a really good straight seam there. And you know, oops, just press that there. You know you want that to be perfectly straight. So there is our block. Now you can see, although it's square, it's basically divided into two triangles, really. So there is the basis of our log cabin. If it were a true log cabin one, I would have added another 2 strips so that we've got 3 of the creamy one side and 3 of the blue the other side. So the next thing we need to do is we need to, I've got one here, just like this, and we need to add this part here. So we are adding this part onto the coloured corner of the block. So we have our square. So I've got a square of fabric, and what we're going to do, we're going to actually fold this over diagonally, so an opposite corner to an opposite corner, and I've got the point near me so that I can put the iron onto it, and I'm just pressing it. And what we want to get, if possible, is as near as, damn it, to that. So if you go straight along there, you want that to, oh no, that just came out just a little bit, but we won't, there we are. We just want that to be as perfect as it can possibly be there. So, simple as that. I've just folded point to point, so diagonally, and now I have got a folded edge along the diagonal, which is actually on the bias edge now, but it's neat because it's a fold. So when we take our block, remember this is going to sit on the coloured portion, and we are going to align those edges with the raw edge of the block. Now if you want to pop a pin in there to begin with, and also in here, so just line that up beautifully. So we have a pin here, and you just want the, so it's all raw edges that are aligning, raw edges from this part and raw edges from the block. So I'm going to just do what's called a basting or a tacking stitch, and I'm going to do it about 1/8 of an inch from the edge because it's going to be hidden in the seam allowance. So I'm just stitching down here, and this is just one of my belts and braces things that I like to do because it means that this is not going to shift. So when we get to the corner, we can come around here and just align that edge there beautifully, just so that both layers are laid together. Okay, so that has just moved over just a tiny bit. I'm just going to trim that a little bit off. Okay, just minimally. Okay, so we have got now this attached like a little pocket. Right, so having done that, you want to make 3 more. And then, having got 3 more, I'm just going to take it back because we need to have 4. Oh, let me just move this back just a little bit. I think that's moved forward a bit. There we are. I'm just moving you there. That's it. I think it's crept forward a little bit. Okay. So, when we have got, I'm keeping all of these in the same orientation. So can you see I've got 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. So when we lay them out, we're going to make sure these pieces go into the middle. So let me see. 1, 2. 1, 2. I'm just going to lift that up so that can go under there. 1, 2. And then the other 2, we want those to go into the middle as well. So that one is going there, and that one is going there. So you can see I've got all 4 going into the middle. And here is my log cabin showing in the coloured ones. So, now that we've got them arranged like that, so this part that's a little bit like a pocket in the middle, I'm going to take the top right-hand one and lay it onto the top left-hand one and align those edges here. And I'm going to take the bottom one and pop that on right sides together with the bottom left. So I'm just going to shift that out the way because I'm going to stitch these. So again, I'm just going to align that top edge so that the sides line up, and that in that corner, that's perfectly aligned. And we've got no matching seams to do as yet. We just stitch all the way down. Now the only thing we need to watch out for is this piece here. Let's just come in a little bit. So where I have the point here, I want to make sure this lines up perfectly with that. So I'm just going to, you could pin that at that point, or like I'm doing, just popping my finger on the top, and then this should line up down here anyway, which it does. So we're going down now. I'm still on a long stitch, aren't I? So let me just change that back to a 1.8 length. I'm just going to start from the top again. So I'm not going to unpick those stitches, but I'm just stitching with a smaller stitch length. So back to my patchwork stitch length there. So down we go. And when I get to the bottom, which I'm going through all those layers, I'm not going to cut my thread. Whoops. There we go. I'm not going to cut my thread. I'm going to bring the next one in, and I'm going to line that edge there, that corner, and I'm just going to go straight under here. Whoops. That's it. So, oh, that was a little bit. I'm going to cut that because that was just a little bit. It didn't like going onto a thicker. Oh yeah, I know it's still attached. But just be careful when you're going onto those layers of fabric. And again, just make sure this part here lines up beautifully with that one as well. So I'm just looking at that, popping my finger down, but do by all means put a pin there just to hold that together. If you feel that you need to, but absolutely fine if you don't. And then this should line up down here, which it does. So just hold that so that your 1/4 inch seam allowance is still good all the way down. Okay, so now we have our 2 blocks joined by a single thread. So I'm just going to, so there's no way we can put it the wrong way around because it's joined. So I'm going to open this out now and open the other one out. Here we go, like so. And then I'm going to flip, because this one's joined, flip that onto there, so top onto bottom. Now the most important part here is at the centre, so we are going, I haven't pressed it, you can press it if you'd like to, but what I find I can do, if you just pull those apart, we're going to have this seam here going one way and the seam at the back going in the opposite direction. So I definitely will, it's so that we can nest those seams there. I definitely am going to put a pin in here, pop a pin in it, as I used to say many moons ago, just so that that holds that point in the centre, with that seam going that way and this seam coming that way. And then we can line up, and you can see there how that lines up beautifully. And let's see if I can get that set. And then I'm going to put this under the machine and we'll start stitching across here. Now I can see at the minute that isn't lined up properly there. So, whoops, let's just take that in a little bit. So from the underneath, I'm just going to bring that across like that. That's better. And I can see that 1/4 inch seam allowance is all lined up beautifully. And we've got no seams again, we haven't got any seams to match apart from this centre, because, well, we had got this bit here, we've got this one to hit here, and I can see that matches there beautifully as well. So when we're coming up to the pin, just take that out before we get to it, and I've got my finger on here to making sure that these cream parts match up beautifully, and just carry on down. Once we've got past that point, we then just need to look to make sure that matches at the bottom and also at that side. So I'm just going to pull that under a little bit, that's it. So my raw edges here are all lining up as well. So we've gone all the way down. So now when we open up here, what we should have is a great intersection in the centre, and these should line up beautifully here, which they do. Whoops, wrong way. Let's just go out a bit. There we go. So that lines up beautifully there, and here, and here, and here. So now we need to do just a little bit of pressing, because we have got quite a bulky seam in the middle. So let's just get this here. That was our last seam. So this one here, which was our the first seam we did, I'm just going to give that a little press first of all. So let's just push that down just so that we've pressed that seam. And we'll do the same on this side here. Just press this seam here. There we go. So that one is going in the opposite direction. Now the last seam that we sewed, which is this one across here, I'm just going to pull that way. But this seam, because we've got a little bit of bulk here, I'm going to open this one up like this. So we can just open this, and it just means that when we get to the centre and where these extra, let's just see there, where these extra pieces of fabric, where is my, oh, there's a pencil there. There we go. Right. So having opened that, and then because we have actually got 3 layers of fabric each side. So by opening that out, can you see that that really does reduce the bulk in there, in that centre seam. And I'm just going to do the same here, trying not to unthread. Oh, we've unthreaded it, never mind. Never mind. So we're just going to pop my finger to open this one up. If you really want to, you could open up that other seam, which I pressed together, but it's more essential that we do just this one seam here, like so, and just take that to the centre there. And what you can do in the centre, where is my, oh there it is. So with a seam ripper, where those two seams came together, we can actually just open that out. It's not going to make it weak, but then we can just press that. So it's just one little stitch, and that's made it a lot less bulky in that centre part than if we had left it as it was. So we have got a seam there, and then if you just flip it over to the other side, I'm just going to give it a press from this side as well, just to keep that nice and flat. So just ironing out our extra piece there, the piece that we've popped on top. So last little thing to do, and it really is, I enjoy doing this part. So this is where we get the curve. So this part is a bias edge. So I go into the middle and I just push that back. It's about a ½ inch. And if in the centre, if you just pin it in the centre, and then with your finger or a little iron if you want to, you can just press that. It just makes itself naturally a curve. So you're pressing it out so that the point comes right down to that point at this corner here. So just use your nail and just give that a little press. Then you can turn to the next side and go to the centre, push that over, and again it's about, you can feel when it has got as far as it wants to go, and then you can pop a pin in there just to hold that down, and again just smooth that down to give that curve along here like this, and then a curve down to that other point or the next point on, so it comes to a nice little point at the tip there. And we'll go around to each side and do exactly the same. Let's see if I have another pin here. So again, just push that back, and as I say, you can feel where, when it's come to the point where it is pushed back the right amount. If I've got a ruler here, I could actually measure it, but I think it's about, I'd call it about ½ inch. Here's a ruler. Yeah, it is ½ inch that I've pushed that back, which is just about right. So again, take that down into that corner, just give that a nice little nail press, and then when it comes down into that corner, you can see that points really nicely. And then we'll go to the very last one, just push that back in the centre, and we'll pop a pin in there, make it come up into the fold, and then give that a little press with your finger or with your nail. But you can do this as we're stitching, because we are going to stitch around this edge as well. So we've got our pins in there holding those edges, those bias edges back, and now we're just going to stitch in there as well. We're going to stitch those folded back areas down. So let me just see, just pulled the thread out, so let's see if we can thread that nice and easily again. So we'll make sure we have got, I might take my stitch length up to the standard 2.5, and then I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to just come in a little bit closer so you can see where I am stitching. So I'm not going to start right in that corner, because that's quite, you want to get it as neat as you can. So I'm going to start a little bit away, perhaps an inch along here, but I've pressed that down so that my point is coming nicely into that corner. And then I'm actually going to make sure my needle comes right over to this one, not quite, I'm going to do it to 1. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle right over to the left hand side so that I can use this silver bit here. There's a little gap, and I'm running that edge of the foot along this fold line here. So let's just see that that is right. Okay, so now I'm just going to start stitching, and I'm just allowing it, I'm not going fast, but I'm just allowing my foot to follow that curve. Now when I get to the pin, I'm just going to pull that out and just carry on down here, and I'm because I nail pressed it, that's all laying really nicely, but I am going to push that next side towards it, because when we get right down here, it's not going to be easy to get your finger in there when the needle is going down. So I'm coming quite close to the edge, but I'm not going right to the very point, because here I'm just going to pivot the needle, flatten that down, and then I'm doing 2 stitches. I'm going to do 1, 2. Now my second stitch has gone into this next curve, so that's holding that down, and then I'm just going to start stitching again. So it's like going into a corner, but not quite into that very tip, and just carry on around here. And again, I'm just following that curve, the curve of the folded, the bias edge, and just carry on round. I hope my thread's not going to run out. And so again, I'm just pushing, pulling that down so that the point is coming right into here, and I'll go a little bit further, and then I'll push that one in as well. Whoops, not too fast. Right, so I'm nearly there, so I'm going to push that side in as well, and I'm just getting a nice little point, that tip there. So we'll go down to within possibly 1/8 of an inch there. Right, that's enough. So there's about 1/4 of an inch left. I'm going to pivot, and then I'm going to do 1 stitch and 1 more. So I did 2 stitches, and the second one has gone into this next part that I'm going to stitch. So as I say, it's holding that down, and then I can just carry on stitching, and hopefully what we'll have is a really neat going into that corner. Oh, jumped a stitch there, I can see. I think I should have changed my needle. Okay, so I'm going around here. So again, making sure that curve comes down into the point, and then push the other one in. That's it, just hold that down so that's nice, that meets nicely. There it comes. You probably can't see that now. Okay, and then pivot round, and we'll do 1, 2. Right, so I'm in my next round. Whoops, I'm taking all sorts of things under here. And then we will carry on coming out of there and carry on around the curve here. It is actually quite good to use a darker thread or a contrasting thread so that you can see exactly where you're stitching. Because I'm thinking yeah, I may have to do this again, because I'm skipping a few stitches, which says to me, Trisha, you need to put a new needle in. Okay, so I just got to the end there. I'll do 1 stitch and 1 more, and then pivot round, and now I'm going to meet where I started, and hopefully that can be quite neat by matching those stitches so that you can't see where I started and where I stopped. And actually, yeah, I'm very pleased with that, because you can't tell apart from that little bit of thread there. But yes, so that is what we have. Now, as you can see, what I was saying about, I've got a skipped stitch just there, so I will do that again. That is not good, and the reason that is because I need a new needle. But that is how, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that on the wall. So let's take you up now. Oh, evening, Jan. Okay, so here, let's just see, I might just stick this over here. that in there. I'll just, there we are, so that you can see the two different colourways there. There we are. Oh, my head's in the way. Let me move back here. So there we go. Okay. Right, let's just have a look, because we've done pretty well tonight. Right, never knew that, thanks. Yep, that's right. All log cabins, hello Anne. All log cabins traditionally start with red as it represents the heart. The hearth fire being the heart of the house. Absolutely right, Lindsay. There. Yeah, that's right, I did, Linz, and I did mention it earlier tonight, or whether it was after and I didn't see those, but oh, that's perhaps when I was I dipped it down. Oh, thank you, Jane, thank you. Yeah, Alison, but it is quite easy, isn't it? And you can see actually they're quite different, but the same. With this red in here, I picked that red out because it's like, that one's darker, which goes with the green, but that one is slightly lighter red, like a pillar box red, which goes beautifully with the red paisley in there. Hello, Judith. You can always watch it later, so really don't worry. Oh, and there's Jan in between cooking a roast. Oh, Jack's looking forward to it. And my teaching makes it seem achievable. Jack, you're a fabulous sewer. But yet, all of you can do this. You really, really can. Marilyn likes it. Oh, Shirley likes it. Good. And Ellen. Lovely. Hope you're all right, Ellen. Could you make 4 and do it as a quilt topper? Absolutely could. So 4, it would be lovely. So you'd want 16 blocks instead of just the 4 that we've made. But do 4 of those. Yep. And do that in exactly the same way. You could even make it, yeah, well, I won't go into that. But yes, you could place them. Log cabin is very, very versatile to give you lots of different looks. Oh, Sandra likes it too. And Angela and Marilyn. Gita's never done a log cabin like that before. You'll be giving it a go. Brilliant. Yeah, I will put the blue one on. The kit is in green only at the minute. But I'll put the blue kit on as well. It's a bluey grey. I knew what you meant, Shirley. Living with Martin, I'm often realising what he says when he says something completely different, you know. But no, I knew what you meant. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Eileen. Anne likes both of them. Good. Maureen can't wait to try one. Okay. Thank you. If you wanted to make a quilt, how would you join it with a strip? You could just join it next to each other. Like here, you could just, so I've got a binding on here, you could just join it. You wouldn't need to put a strip unless you quilted as you go, which I haven't there. I've done the quilting afterwards. Gidget Marie must start sewing and you must start sewing again, Gidget Marie. It does make it special, absolutely does, and I think it just makes it pop, doesn't it? But what I'm going to do, I won't do this tonight, as in layering it up, but from here, the instructions are always very, very similar. Thank you, Jane, and thank you, Jill. I just put the wadding behind, and then the backing fabric behind as well, and then quilt it, and then put the binding on. But what I thought I would do is when I will finish it off, I'll do a little video which we'll then put into the files so that it's always there for you to do when you're finishing off a quilt, a mini quilt, a runner, because it will be the same every time. It's just the way you decide to quilt, excuse me, it's just the way you decide to quilt it that will make the difference. And I must admit, thank you, Joanne. Yeah, Bridget, it isn't that. When I break it down, it's not that difficult, is it? Just strips of fabric. Tony says, if you wanted to make it bigger, would you put the squares together? Yeah. So, yeah, I would. Or if you found it was too big, you'd probably get that under the machine, okay, quilting in one. But if you wanted to, when we did the joining quilt as you go blocks for the block of the month, you could do exactly the same. So if you wanted to, you could make that one up and quilt it, and then do the joining quilt as you go with a strip down here and a strip across the middle and a strip down the other one. So yes, you could do that as well. Oh, thank you, Janet. But yes, what I will do, as I say, I will film when I'm finishing this one off here. I will film it so that it can go in the group, so you've always got something to look back to whenever you're finishing off anything. You've got me, Tony. Jolly good, jolly good. Okay, I don't think I missed any other questions there. So, Joanna. Oh, that's good. You can give it a go then. Tony's not a quilter, but you would like, yeah, do give it a go. Jolly, jolly good. Could do with a cardboard cutout of me to give me... Nobody's ever taken a picture and have made a cardboard cutout of me. Yeah, you never know, do you? Thank you, Bev, and thank you, Glynis. Let's see. Yes, I think that's about. Thank you, Shirley. Yes, I think we've got all of there now. Okay, yes. Will I show the curved quilting when you do the finishing video? I can do, Joanna. I can do. Absolutely fine. I'll show you the... This is the... I haven't got another one to show you in comparison, but you can see how big that is. That is my walking foot for this particular machine, and it is chunky. So all I did, I just used the edge of my foot, and you see that's the distance, well, from the inside of that recess. Amanda, you can make it. I look forward to seeing it. It's the cutting out you're not good at. It's 2-inch strips. I didn't say that, did I? It's 2-inch strips and just all those different measurements. So I'm sure you could do that, because there's no, it's either a 2-inch square or a 2-inch by 3.5 or 2-inch by 5, 2-inch by 6.5. But in the kits, they will all be cut to size, so it will all fit for you. So the quilting, yeah, I took my needle right to one edge of that aperture there, and then I just used the side of the foot, which was lining up with the previous row of stitching, and then each time I did the stitching, then I moved it over a bit and still lined up that to that last row of stitching, and I didn't go fast. With a walking foot, you don't want to go fast, just steady wins the race. But yes, I'll show you how. But you can see here these curves around the edge that's made here. I just started off following that curve around here and around here. I can see from here now I've got lots of jump stitches, lots of them. Never mind, never mind. That is a beast, Jeeta, yes. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Ah, that's lovely. No doubt you have ordered one up. Right, I am going to go down for my evening meal now. It's been lovely seeing you this evening, because as I say, it has been a while. It's probably been a week since I last spoke to you. So, enjoy. But please, 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 all of you that are watching, thank you, Pamela. Happy New Year to you. I shall be back on New Year's Eve. If not, I'll see what we can do before that. Oh, thank you, Beverly. Thank you. And thank you, Pauline and Jean-Anne. We have got the fabric bundle giveaway. Thank you, Vanessa. And so I shall see you on New Year's Eve. As I say, I won't off to print your PDF. Jolly good, yes. I won't do it at 6:30. I'll probably do it a little bit earlier, because you may all be getting on your party, your glad rags and your party outfits to go out for New Year's Eve and party into the early hours of New Year's Day. That won't be me. You'll be lucky if you see me up watching Jules Holland, seeing the the new year in. But you never know. I have been known to stay up till 12 o'clock, and that's when I change into a pumpkin. Never mind. Yeah, that's about it. So, download those PDFs, please, all of you. Don't leave it till the last minute, otherwise you'll be rush and think, oh my goodness, I've forgotten it. So, enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of the week and the weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Oh, you'll be trying to get, yes, fireworks, Joanna, I imagine. Anyhow, yes, enjoy, and I will see you on Sunday, if not before. So bye for now.